Hey, welcome back to another episode of ChatterBeans. Today's episode is a beautiful, honest, and inspiring one. I'm joined by Zoe Park, a former personal trainer, now twin mama, content creator, and all-round powerhouse. We talk about the wild ride of motherhood, how becoming a parent can shift your identity in the most unexpected ways, and what it means to embrace change and follow your gut. Zoe shares how she's building a new life through community, creativity, and staying true to herself, even when things get messy. This one's for anyone who's ever felt in transition, anyone trying to figure it all out, and for anyone needing a reminder that you don't have to have all of the answers. Let's get into it. This is ChatterBeans. Zoe, welcome to ChatterBeans.
Thank you. I'm so excited. This is my first ever podcast as well, so I have been buzzing all morning.
Yeah, I'm so excited, and I want to set the scene. Like, we've known each other for about 10 years,
Gosh.
but we haven't seen each other for, I think, 8,
Yeah, I think so.
which is insane. And we were just having a good catch up before this. Haven't we lived such different lives and a world of lives almost? Like,
It's absolutely mental because when I think about how we met,
yeah.
can I share how we met?
Yeah, of course.
Right. So me being your personal trainer
Yeah.
and gosh, even where we were at maturity wise and what was going on in our lives at the time.
Yeah.
And I've seen you go from being my client to then doing high rocks to me thinking, wait a minute, should I be hiring you? Because I want to do a high rocks. And we
Yes.
both have just evolved in so many different ways and we're such different people.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's you're the same person I'm catching up with, but I feel like I've got about 100 versions of you to go through
Yeah.
before we are like, okay, what are you up to these days?
Exactly right. And likewise for you, like those 6 a.m. PT sessions feel like a completely different lifetime ago. Like,
Yeah,
just
definitely.
insane. So why don't you start off, like, tell us, what does life look like for you right now? What are you up to?
Right. Well, gosh, where
There's
to
a lot.
begin?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, where should I start? Gosh.
Wherever you want.
Okay, so I'm now a mother. I'm a mother to twin girls, Eden and Sienna, my gorgeous babies who are 2.5 years old. So, of course, the last 3 years really have been just completely different for me.
Yeah.
It's a whole new world to me that I'm venturing into as a first-time mum. And it really has been something that's been a catalyst for so many different elements of change in my life. It's so crazy that you've asked me about what I'm up to these days because there was a point where I was on my laptop and I'm thinking, right, let me update my LinkedIn. And I was having a look at some of my sort of previous roles and things like that. And I was like, wait a minute, like, this is so random. If people look at this, I've been a personal trainer. Okay, that makes sense. And then
Yeah.
they can see that I've done bodybuilding competitions. And then they'll have a look at the next thing, which is working for the Royal Horticultural Society. Like, where do plants come into this? This is okay. This is a bit weird. And then it goes on. And I've done corporate real estate. And now I'm an owner of a business which is all about supporting twin parents and a content creator. And I've just gone through so many different transitions
Yeah.
and phases. And then, of course, being a mum, there's also this feeling of your whole life completely changes. And I'm not who I was 9 years ago, 10 years ago at the sort of stage that we would have met. And I'm someone completely different, but I'm still that person.
Yes.
Does that make sense to you?
Completely. And I think we're the same age. So,
Yeah.
you know, a few
Do
months
we reveal
different.
that age?
Yeah.
Gosh.
I think people...
I think we're at the stage where we're like, okay, well, we look good. So
Did we say mid-30s now? Oh, not quite.
I just say 30s.
Yeah,
and then
in our
if you age me up, then, you know, I'm not going to really correct you because I'm going to say, well, okay, well, I've heard that 40 is the finest anyway.
Exactly.
So
we're
leave
just
it
getting ready for that.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I think that's it. We're the same age, and so when we were training together, you and my PT, like, we had such crazy stories, right? We're in our early to mid 20s, and what difference like life looks like now. But I think what I love about you and why I asked you to come on here is because, and we'll talk about this, I think, like becoming a mum, you do see a lot of mums kind of, you know, retreat backwards almost, but you're doing so much with your socials, your content,
Oh, thank
it's a twin
you.
thing. And I just really want to get into all of that, like how you've almost reinvented yourself.
It has definitely felt that way. In the early days of having twins, I mean, having twins is a crazy world. It really is.
Yeah.
You've got two people that are reliant on you, and I've killed plants, like I can't even keep like a Boston fern alive. So there was this wonder, okay, how am I going to do this? And I wouldn't say that I was naturally maternal. People are probably quite shocked to hear me say that, but I
Well,
wouldn't
I was
say,
surprised,
well, yeah,
but that's
because
because I knew Zoe from early to mid
yeah, and
20s.
you wouldn't have thought of me as like becoming a mum. Like at the time that we would have met, I was like living this lifestyle where I was bodybuilding, doing competitions, and
Yeah,
tracking every single macro and weighing food
I
to a
remember.
point where it was so self-indulgent that how would I ever have the capacity where I can take on the responsibility of caring for someone else and building a family? And when I had the girls, in all honesty, when I was pregnant, I didn't know how it was going to pan out, and I thought, okay, well, I want to be a mum. This is exciting,
Yeah.
and let's just hope for the best. And I didn't really have a plan. It was very much we're going to wing it.
Yeah.
And once I saw my girls, it was the most natural transition I've had into anything in my life.
Really.
It just felt like this is what I'm meant to be doing right now, and it did feel like a reinvention. There were points where I was so sleep deprived and I had lost sight of who I was before. And, when you're wearing the same leggings that you've had for about 12 years and you're like, well, I can't really justify the expense of a new pair of sweaty Betties, then you do feel like, wait, I'm not me anymore. And it is sometimes hard to accept. And then I came to this realization, well, you're not that person anymore. You are. You've still got all of those wisdoms, teachings, life lessons from that life, but actually you've evolved so much and you've changed so much as a person. And where you're at now is just the next chapter. And it's a new season of my life.
I love that you
And
say that.
yeah,
New
it feels
season.
that way. It
Yeah.
does. It just feels like a new season. And I do feel like I'm a brand new person. And although I look somewhat similar with, a few more wrinkles than before,
Yeah.
well, they're there. Trust me. I hope you're not zoomed, but they're there. But, although I look somewhat similar, I have completely reinvented myself time and time again. And I think I will continue to do that. I'm going to continue to evolve and change. And I think it's such a fantastic thing to be able to do that, to be able to say, okay, well, that doesn't really fit who I am anymore. And it's not serving me. So I'm okay with letting that part of me go. And I'm going to step into this new thing. And maybe it's not something that you ever planned, or maybe it's not something you're even passionate about in some cases. But I think it's okay to be curious, and it's okay to explore, and it's okay to say, okay, well, I'm going to see what's next for me
Yeah.
and see where life takes you.
I love that about you. And I think that's why, after all this time, we're just getting on like we always used to.
Yeah, having a good
Because I think,
kiki.
yeah, I think I'm very similar. Like, and I made a series of changes in life. Like we talked about that just before, and I think it's one of the beauties of life. It's one of the benefits that we have. Like, don't stay put if you're not happy, right? Or you want to change things, you want to do something different. So thinking about the moment that you got pregnant
Yeah.
to like those 9 months having the baby, like how was it?
Gosh,
Because you had to change everything, right?
yeah, every part of your lifestyle changes, down to what your sort of finances look like and what your sort of lavish surplus would be
Yeah.
before, of what you're willing to splash out on completely changes.
Yeah.
And even down to like this is something that you don't even think about necessarily when you're pregnant, but okay, I can go on holiday whenever I want and I can go to this place and that's going to be totally fine. And, you know, I've done some crazy things like being in Barbados. There was on a girls' holiday, there was a point that, you know, we were happy to accept lifts from loads of people and end up in nightclubs with people that we just met and then on to, you know, whatever was going to happen the next day,
Yeah.
restaurant, whatever, boat trips. And I've gone from this phase of being able to be completely reckless and live my life just spur of the moment to almost having to be so considered with all of my plans. And I'm going on holiday in 2 weeks' time now. And whereas before, I would never book all inclusive because I'm like, no, I want to explore, I want to just see where I end up, maybe in a different island or whatever. But now it's like, no, I need all inclusive. I need the holiday club because I need a cocktail and they need to be entertained while I'm drinking said cocktail. I need a pool. I need all of our meals to be taken care of and for it to
Yeah.
be as easy as possible. And that might seem like such a small decision, but it is such a shift.
Yes.
And you shift in every single way. You have to become flexible with your career. You have to think, well, when they're school age, I need to be able to fit this around summer holidays and all these other things. And yeah, it's just it changes your whole world. It really does. Anyone who is a parent will know this, and anyone who's, you know, looking to become a parent, you'll soon discover that it becomes less about you and more
Yeah.
about other people. And it's often described as a bit of a martyrdom,
Yeah.
but actually it's just a new phase of life, and it's for me it's been quite refreshing to find that I actually can be quite selfless and that I have got so much love to give to other people, and that I am all of a sudden an event planner and a stylist to two little humans and a chef and all of these things that you all these hats that you end up wearing as a parent.
I love that outlook, actually. I've never heard it like that. How exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it's good fun, you know.
Yeah.
I'm discovering lots of versions of me that I didn't realize existed.
Well, this is it. And when I said that, I'm kind of like, I was surprised because I couldn't see Zoe, the mom, Zoe, the
No, how could
chef.
you?
No, I just remember you eating like your food prep and your macros and bodybuilding and being so into the gym. Like it's such a shift, but you know, it's one of those phases of life that we go through, right?
Yeah, exactly.
How day to day is it being a mum to two children of the same age?
I mean, it's not glamorous. If anyone thinks it's glamorous, it's definitely not. I mean, you know, down to things like my sort of daily thought process now has completely changed. And I'm like, oh, wait, you've got a spot on your bum. Is this the first sign of a chicken pox? Or, oh, I haven't seen you poo today. Does this mean you're constipated? I know. Let me get the raisins out. It's just completely. It's just random and it's not
Yeah.
glamorous. And I don't wear white really anymore. White is not my colour because one, I'm clumsy with a coffee and I'm going to swill it down myself, or they're going to touch me after they've been in a
Yeah.
sandpit in the park or been trying to dig up worms. And you know, you have to sort of let go of any vanity and aesthetic you want and just be like, okay, well, this is me. I didn't have time to do my hair today. You know, mum bum, put on a pair of sunglasses and hope no one sees me.
Love it. I love it. What I also like is, so, you know, we talk about some mums, you know, they take maternity leave and things like that. But what you've seen from having twins is this unique opportunity to guide parents, right, on having twins. And you're doing some good stuff.
Oh, you're actually going to get me emotional speaking
Why?
about this. And it's just because when I started It's a Twin thing, it really came from a place of me seeing that there was a lack of information and a lack of community out there for other parents that were either expecting twins or just had them. And
Yeah.
it came from a need of my own. I was like, I have these questions. Why am I up Googling this stuff? Like, surely there's other
Yeah.
people that can relate to this. And I saw an opportunity to create something that was meaningful. And especially in having Eden and Sienna, a lot of my decisions have been because I want to make them proud, and I want to be I've used them as a catalyst to really do something that is inspiring and meaningful. And I hope that one day they'll be able to look at that and be like, wow, like we weren't a drain on our mum,
Yeah.
which I think a lot of children that are multiples can feel like. We weren't a drain. Actually, we were something that inspired her, and she just smashed it as our mum. And I really hope that that is the case and they see that.
Yeah.
And it definitely, it doesn't ever feel like work. There are times where I am up working until 2 in the morning, and it's because of course had to wait till they're asleep, and I've had to clean the house and do all of those other
Yeah.
things that come first. But it doesn't feel like a drain to me because it's such a project of love.
Yes. And with it's a twin thing. So some of the things, tell us about some of the things that you're doing with parents.
Oh, it's so exciting because I meet people that are in such different places on their
Yeah.
journey with twins. So a lot of my clients on board with me when they're at that early stage that they've just found out they're having twins,
Oh, how
and
exciting.
all of a sudden all the questions are rushing in,
Yeah.
and they have spent loads of money because they're like, I've bought two of everything, and then they're like, wait, did I need two? And they'll start Googling, then they find me, or they'll be on Instagram and they find me,
Yeah.
and we're able to calm things down a little bit, and we're able to create that excitement, settle some of the nerves. But I love being able to help them become as prepared as possible for this phase. And it's really exciting. And another thing that's been really special about this, for a lot of twin parents, when you are out there searching for information, you often come across some horror stories about twins that end up in neonatal intensive care units, which is extremely common.
Really?
It's so common because it's 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 quite common for women to not be able to carry twins to full term.
I see.
And that's for a number of
That makes
reasons. There's
sense.
so many reasons. And sometimes neonatal intensive care unit can be a really scary place because it might mean tubes in noses. It might mean that they're needing support to take fluids like milk and needing support to breathe. But sometimes it's just because actually they're very small and they need a little bit of extra attention to just make sure that everything's fine before you take them home.
Yeah.
But when you're reading this and you're pregnant, it is the most unsettling thing. And I think for a lot of pregnant people, they can just feel scared, and almost every milestone that you meet in terms of, okay, we're at 20 weeks now, we found out gender, okay, we're at 30 weeks, you're thinking, wait, I could go into labor at any point from this stage, and I could make it to 38 weeks, which is normally when they decide to induce twin parents,
Right.
or I could actually go into labor tomorrow at work, and you worry what that looks like. So it's been really lovely that I've been able to support twin parents while they're discovering these things, and being somebody that can relate to their concerns. And I can't fix it. I can't change what point your twins are going to arrive, or if they have arrived early, what that looks like. But I can be someone who understands your concerns as a twin parent, and I can be there to say, okay, you've voiced everything, let's park it.
Yes.
Let's
Yeah.
let's park it for now and let's focus on these next steps, or be able to give practical advice for if their child does end up in that position, and like, right, okay, this is what you can do to stay connected. These are the kind of questions that you can ask your doctors or on appointments. These are the kind of questions that you can bring into the midwives working on the neonatal intensive care unit. And it's been really lovely that I've been able to be there for parents when they really need someone.
Yeah, such a unique opportunity, like having twins and actually be able to support people and do some amazing work from it. So you've just started YouTube, haven't you?
I have just started
Yeah, how's that
YouTube.
going?
I'm sure you'll be able to relate to this somewhat, but there is nothing more nerve-wracking. And I've done some, like, I've been on stage in a bikini, but nothing scares me more than talking on camera and hearing my voice.
So two things you're doing right now.
Exactly. And starting a channel, I think you can almost obsess about how you're going to come across, and you can look at all the things you don't like about yourself. Like, I don't like my teeth. I don't like this about myself. I wish I lost some weight. I wish, you can really obsess about these things and worry how you're going to come across, especially in a time when there's a lot of trolls.
Yes.
But I found that once I did that first video and published it, oh, it's done now. And what's the worst that's going to happen? Someone's going to say something mean, but that person's always going to also going to add to my views. So thank you very much for being here.
Exactly.
Stay tuned for the next episode. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. So I think you just have to let go of perfection sometimes and say, okay, it's not going to be perfect. I'm just starting out with this.
Yeah.
But let's go with it. Let's see what happens. I'm sure in a year's time, I'll look back at this video and think, oh God, that was crap. But then I would have built something more from it. And I think you just have to keep going and keep that momentum and really just go all in.
I agree. It's not easy putting yourself out there.
No, it's
It's been the same
not.
with this podcast, right? Like, what are people going to say? They're going to judge me. Oh, someone else doing a podcast, like, as so many people are now. But you've got to do what makes you happy.
One of your guests, she said something that just it really resonated with me on this journey. You'll have to correct me if I pronounce her name wrong. It's Lavinia.
Lavinia, yeah.
Lavinia. She said about the fact that she was so shy before and was, almost quite introverted in her school days, and being a triplet as well.
Yes.
And yeah, of course, that really stuck out to me. And she was speaking on that. And then I thought, well, how amazing that she's now on cruise ships dancing, and that she's, being in the theatre in some of the most competitive shows out there to get into. And, it just really stuck out to me that you need to have this confidence in yourself and just go there and do it, and just, just put yourself out there.
Yeah, totally. Do you know Jamie Thigston?
No, I don't.
He was a children's TV presenter, and he presents Heart now in the mornings with Amanda Holden. But he was just on Davina's podcast that I was listening to this morning. And he started in TV at 17 or something. But he was the most introverted person. And now he presents on national radio every single morning. He's done amazing TV. I'm like, how can people do it? Like, but Lavinia, she is like a real life example. I mean, he is as well. But she's someone that's like an everyday person that's pushed herself out there. And yeah, and so I'm so pleased that you've got the YouTube. What else is going on with this twin thing? Where do you want to take it?
I am so something that happened quite naturally and it wasn't a direction I had planned to take it in, but once I started putting more content out there and sharing more about the sort of personal life of a twin mum, and my community was really engaging and really resonating with the messages I was putting out there. A lot of brands started contacting me, and naturally, content creation just fell into place. And it wasn't something that I had planned to do. When I started doing it, I was very intentional. I had already looked back at my sort of mission I'd set when I started It's a Twin Thing, and I looked at my brand values, and I thought, okay, well, who am I willing to work with?
Yeah.
Does it line up with what my morals are, what my ethics are? Is it sustainable? There were so many factors that came into play when I was starting to accept collaborations. And I really have tried to hold on to what my page is about and who my community is, because I always want to be serving them. But naturally that happened, and it's been so much fun. I have so much fun creating content.
Do you?
It's amazing. It's amazing. I got sent a delivery recently, which was for a company called Milk and More, and it was a milkman delivery service. I woke up and I quite literally had fresh milk on my doorstep, orange juice, sourdough bread, kombucha, eggs, yogurts, all sorts of things just on my doorstep. The girls were still asleep, and I was like upstairs taking this in. And that was a collaboration that I had that I'm like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
And when I was doing the filming for it, it felt like the most natural thing ever, because I'm like, wait a minute, I love this so much.
Yeah.
Like, this is the best kept secret. Why does no one know about this? Why aren't more people doing it?
Yeah.
And that was when I realized, wait a minute, I never had this plan to do this, but I'm totally obsessed with this. And it's really sparked an interest for me in, okay, well, what else can I do with this? And
Yeah.
how else can I continue to build on my brand and platform, but also, am I interested in marketing now? I didn't know that I had any interest in marketing, but all of a sudden I
Yeah.
do. And it's it's so strange because when you start something, you do have a vision for where it's going to go. But sometimes things happen in life that are either obstacles or they're opportunities.
Yes.
And you can take both of those things and say, well, I'm gonna turn this into something here and I'm gonna see where this goes. And that's been really exciting
Yeah.
because there have been both obstacles and
Of course.
opportunities from it. And it's learning when to pivot and it's learning when to take those opportunities and just see. And of course, you can try something new, you can step out of your comfort zone with it, and you can assess and reevaluate and say, is this for me? Is this serving me in the way
Yeah.
that I want it to? And yeah, it's absolutely fine. It's fine to do that.
Yeah.
You don't have to fit the mold of who people want you to be or who you used to be. You can break out of those boxes and you can say, okay, I'm going to try something here. And maybe I lose you along the way because it doesn't suit you. But that's okay. Like, we don't need to be
Exactly.
together. We can love each other from a distance. And I can go on and I can do this thing. And maybe I discover brand new people that I can connect with through this process. And it's really beautiful. It's really exciting. And I love it when I see other people doing it.
Yeah.
And I love celebrating those stories as well, because I'm like, wait a minute, you are brave. You are doing something that is out of the ordinary of what other people expect from you. And like, I just,
Well, it all comes to risk, doesn't it? And
yeah,
some people are not brave enough to take that risk because they're too worried about the impact, or they see the negatives of what might happen,
yeah,
but they're not seeing enough of, well, actually, what if it goes well? What
yeah,
if it works out?
exactly. And I think that it's it's only really starting to happen in the last few years that people are starting to see that there are alternative routes out there, especially in the UK,
Yes.
for them to take. Because our schooling system, you are you're taught your sort of core subjects, and it's not a schooling system that's there to support you vocationally. It's there to get you into a nice secure job where you're adding to somebody else's business, but it's not
Yeah.
really set to create the future entrepreneurs, and it's not really set to let you really embrace your individuality.
Yeah.
And I think people are starting to change and there's starting to be this shift. And it's so powerful and it's so special because people are starting to realize that they can become whoever they want. And it doesn't matter what their upbringing was like. And it doesn't matter whether they have completely decided that I don't belong to that anymore. That doesn't work for me. I'm not that person. And they can come away from that and they can become whoever they want to be.
Yeah.
And they can change that again and again and again. And it's absolutely fine. You don't know anyone an explanation for why you want to do this in your life and what the next step is. You just have to be authentic and be true to yourself and do whatever is going to make you happiest in life, because otherwise, what's the point? You're living for other people.
Completely agree. I love all of it. I don't want to add too much more to that. I just,
Well, I think that anyone who has followed your journey knows that you are just a pioneer of this. You're like the ambassador of change. You are just somebody that continues to go through this metamorphosis. And
yeah.
as somebody who's known you for a long time now, it's just so refreshing to see. And I'm
Thank you.
loving discovering all these new facets to you. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
I think, for a long time I didn't take risks, and that was it. And then it came to this massive head turning 30. I've talked about it before, briefly on here, on other podcasts, and you've got to take risks. And I've loved it. I've loved, yeah, I guess looking back at my life now, it's like, wow, like all these different phases from upbringing to now, it's like, it's different, but it feels, I feel comfortable. But if you ask Oscar, I'm still afraid of some sort of change. And it's just about trying to tackle some of those things and be brave. What I'm keen about to know about is, do you ever like miss the bodybuilding days, or because I imagine bodybuilding, is discipline.
Yeah.
We had Claire on the podcast a few back in season 1, who also did bodybuilding, but it's such discipline. It's you're tracking your food, what you look like, you've got an image to uphold,
Yeah.
to then having babies, which changes your body.
Yeah.
How has that been for you, and how have you kind of got through it, and how are you feeling now?
So when I think, do I miss that chapter of my life? Even before having babies, actually, I'd sort of stepped away from that. I'd done my competition, I'd won, and I won in like a big way.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a small feat. And there was definitely the outside influence to carry on competing. It was like, well, you're good at this. Like I've got these legs that, to me, I've always been quite self-conscious of how big my legs are. But for other people, they're like, oh my God, like they are,
Strong.
a real freak show. Like, let's really put those to work. And there was definitely this big push from social media, but people I'd met in that industry, and of course working in Gymbox at the time, where people were like, "Well, you can't, you're good at this, you need to do it. You can't waste your genetics," because part of it is genetics. And there was a lot of temptation to do that. But for me, it was very much something I wanted to do. I wanted to tick it off the list and be like, okay, cool, I'm ready to do something else now. And the thing with bodybuilding is, like you said, it requires such discipline. You are weighing your food, it's so rigid. You could go to a wedding, as an example, and you're taking a cold container of fish and green beans with you. I mean, that's not really the way that I saw myself living my life long term. I
Exactly.
was happy with it for that period of time. But I knew that I wanted to do other things, and I wanted to be able to drink wine and eat some cheese and not have a care in the world about it, which I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
And so there's a part of me that misses the focus that it gave me. I do really miss the it was amazing waking up and knowing, okay, this is my plan for the day because I have to do this and I have to reach
Yeah.
these objectives. Otherwise, there's a chance that I'm not going to win. And I am a competitive person. But so I do miss that. I miss the purpose it gave me.
Okay.
But then becoming a mother,
You have a
I've found a completely new purpose in life, and something that feels so much more significant and meaningful to
Yeah.
me. And of course, I would love to look how I did when, not quite when I was on stage, but when I was doing my sexy photo shoots.
I remember.
Oh God, a Google search will dig those up. I would love to look like that again. Of course I would. I was so
Yeah.
young, I had amazing hair back then. And,
Still do.
oh no, breastfeeding has destroyed it, but hopefully I'll get it back. But also youth was on my side, and everything was, a bit more perky and a bit more raised. Whereas now my body does look different, and it's not a bad thing at all. It's just different. And there is a part of me that misses that version of Zoe, but she's still there. And my focus does mean that I can't necessarily commit to 2 training sessions a day and this and that. I can
Yeah.
barely make it in the gym 3 days a week. And if I can be bothered to do some Pilates at home, I do it, but it's okay, because one day my girls will grow up.
Yeah.
And if I want to, I can be in my 50s and I could be that person that's in the gym or even on the beach in Miami doing pull-ups in a bikini with the youngest
I
of
can see that.
hot guys and hot women, and I could be that girl. I could be
Yeah.
that woman.
It's just a different phase, isn't
Yeah.
it? I think we always look back at those years or different times in our life and kind of reminisce, I suppose. Like, I think back then I was going out to heaven a lot of weekends and, carefree. And now I'm kind of married and, different responsibilities. But
But this is the happiest I have ever seen you. It
I'm
really
so
is.
happy. Yeah.
And it just radiates from the inside out, because you
Yeah.
can look really happy when you're doing these other things, but it it's almost a facade. It's a bit like, if we think about social media, you are
Well,
putting your highlight reel on, aren't you?
yeah,
But
yeah,
actually, sometimes when you tend to go a bit more quiet and you're having those cozy evenings where actually it's feet on your partner's lap on the
yeah,
sofa,
yeah.
that's what's really making you
My
happy. And
head's on his
then
lap every night and he's stroking my hair, which I'm convinced is thinning my hair, but I,
you're
I
okay
love
with
it. I'm
it.
happy in that moment. There's always hair transplants.
Yeah, exactly. We can work on these things.
Exactly. So, yeah, it's just life, isn't it?
Yeah.
We get older, but we learn more and we have more baggage, and I think it can only add to us, like as
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
So, being a mom, running It's a Twin thing, trying to develop that. Do you have time for coffee? Do you like coffee?
I rely on coffee.
I thought you might say that.
I rely on coffee. None of this would be possible without my Nespresso machine, I must add. And yeah, it just wouldn't be possible because it's the only way I get anything done. It really is. I mean, if ever you see me on YouTube or even on this podcast today a bit jittery, then understand it's because I've had too much caffeine and I haven't known when to stop. But
I love it. What's
yeah.
your go-to coffee order?
Oh, it depends. It really depends on whether I'm feeling a bit naughty or not.
Okay, go
So
on.
if I'm being a good girl, it's a black Americano. If I am being a bit, I don't know, I'm feeling adventurous, I'm going to go for a dirty chai,
Oh,
which is a chai latte with a shot of coffee inside. And it hits all the spots. It's sweet, it's sharp,
I've
it's
never had
strong.
that.
Well, there you go.
There you
Try something
are.
new.
And you just had a flat white.
I did,
Is
yeah.
that a treat? I see that as a treat, because of I don't know
Yeah,
why.
it is a treat,
Feels
but I
like a
think I went for the flat white today because I'm I shouldn't be drinking it if I think back to my old self with the bodybuilding days in the sense of black Americano's the way forward. And I'm going on holiday in a couple of weeks.
you look
But
great.
I'm also okay with the fact of if I'm okay with those extra calories that a bit of milk's gonna give me.
Yeah.
I'll take it for a nice creamy coffee any day.
Yeah, you see, I've currently got a trainer just for the next few weeks, and he's a big guy. And one of the conversations we keep having in the gym is stop drinking milk.
There
I'm
you
like, but I
go.
love milk. But yeah, black Americano is the way forward. Do you have any go-to coffee shops, or do you just like your Nespresso machine?
I always start the morning in the same way. So a bit of a ritual for me.
Go on.
So in the morning, I always wake up that bit earlier before the girls. So I set an alarm and the intention is that I'm going to have a bit of time to myself. No
Good
matter
for
how
you.
tired I am, I do that because it's like, okay, you need this.
Yeah.
You need this time, this quiet period of reflection. And I'll go and I'll make my coffee and I'll sit there normally watching some crap on the TV. Or if I'm not watching crap on the TV, I'll listen to a podcast or
Yeah.
something like that. And that is how I start my day. It's a nice slow start until the girls wake up and the madness begins. And that's how I normally have it. I try to limit the amount of coffee I
Do
have
you?
because of course I know it's not great for me to have loads. And I will try and limit it. I don't go to like massive franchise coffee shops. I tend to go independent because I
Nice.
find you get better coffee and
Yeah.
a nicer vibe when you
Yeah.
go in. And the only thing that stops me from doing that is the temptation of the pastries. Because when you do go to these independent coffee shops, they have the most gorgeous pastries right next to where you're paying. And I can resist a crusty croissant from one of the big chains, but when there is the most gorgeous cinnamon swirl staring at me, even
Yes.
as a personal trainer, it is very hard not to look at it and want a nibble. So, say a nibble, it's going to be like gone in 10 seconds. But
Exactly.
yeah.
Completely with you there. Don't you worry. So if you could have coffee with anyone,
Oh,
have you got someone in mind?
absolutely. So, without hesitation here, it's going to be Jennifer Coolidge.
Okay.
Do you know who she is?
Yes.
Well, it had to be her for me because she is just I don't want coffee with someone that's going to be really serious. There's people that I listen to, like motivational speakers and authors that I absolutely love, but maybe we even switch it to a cocktail, but it's going to be
Probably.
her because she's so iconic. She's so hilarious. I know that we're going to have a fun story come up that's going to make me spit out my coffee, which is going to be about either her dogs or a lover that she's had or several lovers she's had. And I just think, especially as a mum as well,
Yeah.
why would I not want to sit down with the ultimate MILF, Stifler's mum? Like, it just makes sense to me that this is who I'm manifesting for my future self here. So it just, and I love the fact that she's an actress, but she has built a brand completely on who she is.
Yes.
And they create roles for her. She is not fitting the character that they want her to be. She is herself. They are creating that character for her. And I just love that. I think, wow, if I can be that authentic and that iconic in my own life,
Yeah.
and I could be that much of a MILF, then that is a serious win. So she's definitely my coffee date.
What's your favourite version of her?
Oh, okay. Oh, there's two.
Go
So
on.
the first one that comes to mind has to be her in White Lotus, because the gays are killing her. The
That
gays are trying to kill
final
her.
episode. Have you seen it?
Oh,
Are you up to it? Up to
I
speed?
am up to date, and I am just completely obsessed with White Lotus. But even though we're past her in it, of
I
course we're
know,
past her.
I'm
I'm not going to give spoilers, but we're past her
But I'm
in
so
it.
sad.
I mean,
But she was fantastic.
but her legacy is still living on through this season because it's what shaped it in many ways.
Yeah.
And I just, oh gosh, that has to be my favourite version of her because I love the fact that she's older, and I love the fact that she through it is trying to discover this new version of
Yeah.
herself past a bad relationship.
Literally.
And because I think we've all been there where we've had a really bad relationship or
Yeah.
a heartbreak, and we're like, okay, well, I don't know what's next, so I'm gonna go on holiday.
I'll take myself away. Yeah,
and
exactly.
and then of course she finds herself in a whole spot of trouble. But
What's the other version?
Legally Blonde,
Okay.
because she is the bend and snap. Because I think we've all pulled out that move. I think I've seen you do it. I think you probably deny it, to be honest, but I'm almost certain that in the gym you were doing the bend and snap.
Probably.
And it obviously she's the mother of it, so
Exactly.
it's important to recognise where that came from.
So what would you talk to her about?
You've got right. I think I would just see where it goes. I think we're both a bit nuts, to be honest.
Yeah.
We're both quite eccentric, and I think we could talk about a whole load of things, but it might just start with a coffee where we're having a chat and then go on to something like this big adventure where we're all of a sudden hitting the town. Why are we in Soho right now? Who knows?
She would love it.
She would. And I feel like we could go to Rupert Street
Yeah.
and we would have the best time. And, we aren't necessarily the go-to interest. We're not going to be the romantic lead there, are we?
No, but that's okay.
But somehow I feel like we're going to go and steal the show.
I love it.
And, that's fun. That's
That
great.
would be amazing. I would love to join for that.
I'm sure you'd be there, to be honest.
I'm
We'd
sure.
bump into you there. Just what are you doing there? Like,
Maybe in my older days. Maybe not so much
maybe
anymore.
in the older days. But I don't know, maybe we'll bump into you and Oscar leaving the theatre and all of a sudden we're dragging you on an adventure.
That's probably about right.
I feel like I've actually fantasized about this a bit too much, and I've now got a whole storyline
There we
together
are.
where you're coming along for the ride and Oscar, and somehow we are just out 3 days later just having the most wild night.
Let's manifest it. Let's
I
manifest it.
mean, where are my daughters at this point?
Exactly,
Are they
yeah.
with us?
Maybe in a few years when they're much
Yeah.
older. You've been through a lot. You've had many different phases, as we've spoken about. Is there any big life lessons or bits of advice that you want to share?
Something that really sticks out to me, that if I could tell my younger self this, it would be to stop caring what other people think and stop people pleasing. There have been versions of myself, and I say versions because I'm definitely not that person anymore, but there have been versions of myself where I have thought so much about what will make me more favourable to other people and like more, I guess, someone that people can digest a bit better, and want to like and want to follow, and especially when you have a business that's reliant on social media, you can definitely think, okay, well, what is everyone else doing? Let me fit that mold. And I think if I could tell my younger self anything, it would be to just be who you are. Don't care about what everybody else is doing. Don't care about what other people want, and stay true to yourself and know your boundaries, know your worth. Because once you start recognizing and realizing those things and you understand actually what your worth is, then
Yeah.
you come out of situations that just don't serve you a lot sooner, and you step into your power. And you really, once you step into your power, you create this magic, and that magic translates into everything you do. And all of a sudden you are then attracting the things that you deserve in your life and the kind of people you deserve in your life.
Massively. I think, yeah, once that mindset shifts, you may lose some people along the way,
Yeah.
but you're going to gain so much
Yeah,
more.
it's just all about how much you value yourself as a
Yeah.
person, because when you put your value in how other people view you, you're never going to be good enough.
No.
And you're always going to be striving to be something that either you're not, or it's just not quite obtainable for
Yeah.
you. And actually, once you realize, well, I am the brand here. This is the Zoe show or the Isaac show.
Yeah.
Then you just live life for yourself. You dress how you want to. You go to the places you want to. You embrace the interests that you have that actually other people might think are a bit weird or a bit
Yeah.
geeky. And you just think, well, sod it. This is who I am. If you don't like it, then that's totally okay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm okay with it. You don't need to like it.
I love that. And I can't say I'm 100% good at it. Like there's still bits that I'm trying to push myself out of my comfort zone more, to not worry about what other people think. We had Guillaume on the podcast, massive into high rocks, LGBT, trying to be like loud and proud. And I'm going to be racing with him next Friday. So by the
Okay.
time this episode's out, we would have done our race. And one of the things that he wants me to do is wear super bright colors and just do it for fun. So we're not doing it for time. And so he's trying to help me along the way. But yeah, how do you do it? Is it just a case of like, right, I'm going to do this, I'm just going to just give it a go? Like, because I get nervous. Like, how do I, for some things, for example, I might want to wear a certain thing, but I'm still a bit like, oh, what will people think? So I'm good in lots of ways.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this podcast. People will listen, people won't listen, whatever. But there's still things that I'm like, how do I get there?
I think it's completely normal. And I think when we talk about this idea of being totally comfortable with who you are and doing things that you want to do,
Yeah,
it's very easy to say it, but
definitely.
actually putting it into practice is the hard part. And you're always going to have moments where you do doubt, and perhaps you are still trying to people please a little bit. I definitely go through that. As much as I feel
Yeah,
like I am happy, I am comfortable, I know who I am, and I'm okay with it, there are moments, especially when you're putting yourself out there publicly, and it's something like high rocks as well, gosh,
yeah,
where it can be almost a bit clicky in some ways. You do think, okay, well, is this going to be embarrassing for me? Is this going to be something that, is going to come up for me in the future? Or am I just going to feel like an absolute melon on the day
yeah,
and not perform how I should? And of course, you want to be able to perform well at something like that. And I know for myself, something that I have to do is I just have to think back to those times where I have done things that don't feel natural or don't feel authentic to me, and how crap it made me feel,
yeah,
and how low I felt at certain points when I've done that. And I have to just say to myself, okay, well, I don't want to go back to that feeling. So, I mean, an example of this that is, you may know this about me, you may not. I'm completely obsessed with anything fantasy related. I love Harry Potter. I love
didn't know
Disney.
that.
Oh yeah, I really geek out on these things, and especially my Disney obsession. I was so embarrassed about it for so long, and I thought, oh God, don't be a Disney adult. Really don't. And I've learned to embrace that about myself. And even a couple of weeks ago, I went to a birthday party, which was full of like really trendy mums. And, old Zoe would have thought, I'm going to be judged here. But I wore a top with Belle on it.
Oh,
And
I love that.
I felt amazing in it, and
Yeah.
I felt good, and I loved what I was wearing. And I'm sure that there were some kind of noses turned up thinking, oh God, what's she wearing? But I was totally okay with that and thought, "Do you know what, I'm happy." And all the kids at this birthday party absolutely love my top, so that's fine.
Good.
And when you wear your colourful clothes at High Rocks, you are probably there's going to be times where you probably feel like you're like a refresher or something, one of those sweets.
Yeah.
But you were going to bring so much joy to other people with these bright colours and stepping out of the
Yeah.
sort of grey beige look that a lot of people go for, or just topless at High Rocks.
Well,
You know?
well, this is it, and I think it's trying to change that perception of anything, right? But yeah, especially High Rocks, there's a lot of topless guys, which sure they look good, but there's a lot of ego that comes with that. And I'm someone that's comfortable wearing black and black in the gym, but actually a bit more color would be nice, and hopefully I'll feel good about it. So really like
Yeah.
that bit of advice.
And even if you are almost like, oh my God, like I'm wearing neon green
Yeah.
and I wish I was wearing a black t-shirt. I'm just going to let you know this. It's going to look absolutely amazing in pictures, and anyone who's there supporting you is going to see you from a mile off.
I
and
mean,
be
there
like,
is that.
There's Isaac. Oh my gosh, that's him doing the wall balls right now. Like, you know.
Oh God, don't talk to me about wall balls. Oh, I'm dreading it. Last sort of main question before we come on to a quick fire round. When do you feel most like you?
I think I feel most like me when I am doing something that is completely for myself and I'm not doing it for anybody else. And it can be, it doesn't have to be dramatic and big.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be, this really indulgent activity. It can just be something like, I am watering my plants, or
Love
I
that.
am watching a Disney film, and yep, it may be childish that I'm watching Dumbo again, but that's good because I like it. And I think that's when I feel most like myself, when I'm not thinking about other people. I'm not thinking about the million things that I need to be doing or could be doing in that moment, but I'm doing something that just brings me simple pleasure.
Love it. All right, time for the quick fire round.
Okay, gosh, I ramble. So this is going to be hard.
Yeah, my quick fire rounds are never that quick. But anyway, first thing you do in the morning,
Have a coffee.
have a coffee. Wake up, have a coffee.
Have a coffee, yeah.
Love it. If you packed your bags right now, where are you going?
If I packed my bags right now, where am I going? Oh, wow. Gosh, there's so many options here. I am going to... Where am I going? Gosh, I'm going to Paris. I love Paris.
Do you?
Love it.
What's special about Paris?
I love Disneyland Paris. I love the Eiffel Tower. I love the Parisian fashion. I love macaroons. I love croissants.
There you are.
there we
Paris it
go.
is. One thing that always lifts your mood.
Music.
Music.
I love it. I can put in my headphones or I can get in my car and blast music, and all of a sudden my mood is uplifted.
Yeah. Love
yeah,
that.
instant.
Favourite place you visited and why?
Favourite place I've visited has to be Croatia. I love Croatia so much. I fell in love with the country. I didn't even necessarily want to go there. It was somewhere that an ex-partner of mine suggested we go to, and I went, and it was just somewhere that I thought, wow, I love this place. It has waterfalls. I went to Split, and it's
Nice.
got the most beautiful castle ruins, and it's just stunning. It's a Diocletian's palace, and it is just absolutely incredible, and I felt like I was in a fairy tale.
Did
so
you?
it has to be there.
Do you know, people say Croatia all the time. I've never been.
Oh
I
gosh,
need to go.
gosh, get Oscar, pack your bags and go.
So you're off at the moment, but you're building a business. You're a mum,
Yeah.
which is pretty full time. But do you have any days off? And if so, favourite way to spend your day off?
I think being self-employed, you are used to working all the time.
Yeah.
And it comes with some of the rewards that you get from being self-employed. You take the flexibility that it offers and the freedom to be able to do as you please,
Yeah.
and not be micromanaged and whatnot. And you accept it because you're like, okay, that's fine. And you're totally okay when you're building something you're passionate about. You're totally okay with putting in the hours around the clock, and it doesn't feel like work and it doesn't feel like a chore because you're just so excited to get it out there.
If you could time travel, would you go forwards or backwards, or stay right here?
Ooh, I would go forwards, And it would be because I would want to see what's to come. I feel like we're in such a stage in the world right now where there's so much change. AI is massively there. It's becoming something that all of us are a little bit unsure about. We see the benefits, but we're like, okay, is it going to take my job? Is it going to take over my household and I'm going to be its slave? Or you think so many things. So I'd like to see where the world is going. I'd like to see if some of the conflicts that are there politically are resolved. I'd like to know what world my children are going to be growing up in, and then be able to travel back to my present self and be like, okay, this is what we need to do. Zombies are coming. We need to get this sorted. Yeah, that's what I'd like to do.
I love that.
I'd like the insights.
I think I would do exactly the same.
Oh, well, yeah. I think a lot of people would want to travel backwards. I'm like, no, okay, that's all happened.
I mean, I would like to go back to many, many years ago, like, I don't know, the 70s, just to have a little, like, party.
Just have fun.
Yeah, have fun. Because what a different world to maybe 70 years from now. I don't know what's going to happen.
I'd struggle. I'd be like, wait a minute, like, I have to knock on your front door in order to know whether you want to come out later on.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm totally okay with sending you a WhatsApp.
Exactly. Love it. What's the weirdest thing you've Googled recently?
Oh, God.
It might not seem so weird to you, but...
Well, as a mum, you Google a lot of weird things.
Yeah.
And I think the weirdest one that I've Googled recently has been... what to do if you think your child's eating cat food, because my sister's looking after them who has a cat. There you go.
What do you do?
Oh, I can't even remember, because what tends to happen with anything parenting, you go into, it's almost like the dark web. You go into these Mumsnet chats or Reddit or something like that, where, oh my gosh, you think you're going to be reading about what to do if your child's eating cat food, and all of a sudden you hear about someone's divorce, and it's wild.
I imagine.
Wild. So... yeah, I feel like that has probably been something that's entered my brain. I've been in overwhelm and be like, okay, let's retreat from this now.
I love it.
They're okay. They're breathing.
Finally, what's a small amount of joy you've experienced recently?
A small amount of joy. I'm going to give it today, catching up with you. And it's because it's just been something that I've been so excited about. And we both have lives that move at such fast paces that it's almost impossible to do. It's been long overdue. And I've just really enjoyed it. It's been just gorgeous.
Thank you. And I was going to say this at the end. It's been such a delight seeing you, literally. Like, I feel that, you know, we're the same age. We met each other at a similar stage in life. Yeah. We spent, you know, the relationship between a PT and a client is quite intimate at times.
Oh, it's like, so intimate.
You speak about everything. We saw each other 6 a.m. every morning. In fact, it came up on my memories the other day that something like, I was late for the session. I didn't take my top. So we went for a walk around St. James's Park.
Yep. I do remember this. And it's so intimate and lovely.
Yeah, and it was such a, and it's so nice to see that your energy hasn't gone. Like, you're so energetic. You're so, as you always were, you look great. And I'm so pleased that having children, you've managed to build kind of your future business from this, and you're doing so well from it. So thank you for coming on ChatterBeans.
Thank you for having me. This has been amazing.
I know, it's been great. Just finally, where can people connect with you, find out what you do, and all about It's a Twin Thing?
Yeah, sure. I will link over all my socials to you so people can find me. I am always open for people dropping me a DM as well. Or if they have watched a YouTube video and they're like, God, that's a bit mental what you were talking about there. Let me drop a comment. I would love that.
Yeah.
But you can find me on Instagram. I'm on TikTok, although I feel a bit old for it. And I'm also on YouTube as well. So I'll drop you all of those.
Yeah, we'll tag you in.
And yeah, I'd love it for people to connect. I'd love to know where people are connecting from as well.
Yeah.
Because that's always interesting to me.
Totally. Zoe, thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in to ChatterBeans. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation. If you liked this episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. And for more behind-the-scenes moments, guest updates, and a peek into the world of ChatterBeans, follow us on Instagram at chatter.beans. Until next time, grab a coffee, sit back, and let's keep chatting.